Rolling.
Welcome back to the Catch the Sky podcast. Joining me this week is a longtime friend of the show, James from Crispy Cards and Collectibles, but that's not what we're going to be talking about this week, is it? So thank you for everybody that is listening right now. You can find me on Twitter, or what is it, X now? I don't know what the fuck it is. At CTS Terry. I haven't posted on that shit since before Elon fucking took over. So good luck finding me there, really. You can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever podcasts are available by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to be notified whenever we post our new episodes. And James, where can our listeners find you on the internet?
Yeah, well, first off, my friend, thank you for having me. But for this particular episode, we have to go by the name J Tiz.
J Tiz.
Yeah.
J Tiz.
Yeah, we got to go by the name J Tiz. I mean, that's okay that everyone knows my real name is James. That's what the J stands for, obviously.
Right.
I was going to go by the name James Tiz, but at the time I had a manager. He told me it sounded too R&B. And I rap too, so that's why I guess what he said.
Gotcha.
So by J Tiz.
All right. There's a little background on the name, and that's where people can find you by searching for J Tiz.
Yes, sir. I think I'm the coolest on TikTok, I think. So people can find me at J Tiz TV. That's J Tiz, JTIZ TV on TikTok. Or just J Tiz on Facebook. J Tiz Music on YouTube. All my music is available on every platform. You just type in my name, J-Tiz, J Tiz, and you can find my stuff on there.
And you've been releasing some new music, right?
I have, yes, sir. Well, I haven't released a song since, I want to say January, honestly. So this is going to be, it's been a while.
All right. Well, stay tuned, and anybody listening might have we got a little surprise for you.
We do have a surprise today.
So, all right. Well, let's get into a little background here. What made you fall in love with music? Let's start there.
Man, that's deep. Falling in love with music. I was a little boy, and I always loved music, but I always felt that I was able to create it. I never tried it, but I thought in my mind that I could. So
I can relate.
Yeah. So I guess just jumping off the bridge when I was a kid and just trying it.
What was the first thing you did musically or tried musically? Did you try an instrument, or did you get right into like making beats? Like what would you explore first?
Funny story. My uncle, my dad's brother, my uncle Doug, he passed, God rest his soul, but he gave me this old drum machine, and it had like 50 drum sounds in it. It would be considered janky now, but it was like an 89 edition or something, 1990. It was old. But I was so fascinated by it, that you could press these buttons and create, rhythm patterns and stuff. And obviously hip hop was so big, in rap music and stuff was so big. Electronical music just in general was so big back then. Yeah, so that's how I kind of got into it. And then when I was old enough to work, my first job, I worked at McDonald's. Shouts out to McDonald's, let's go. But
we'll be sure to tag them in this episode.
Yeah, tag them. I'm saying, no, I mean, listen, they hired me when I was 14. I mean, I had to get my working papers. Excuse me, but I was hungry to work, and they let me work, you know what I'm saying? So shouts out to them for real. Yeah, so I saved up enough money to buy my first keyboard. It was a Yamaha PSR 1000. It was like eight tracks, and you could loop. It was like the first keyboard I ever had that you could like loop the stuff that you made. And I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. So I got that probably when I was like 14.
Did that have drum sounds built into it
Oh
too?
yeah, it did. Yeah,
Okay,
all the
right.
original Yamaha sounds. Like, really, a lot of the sounds today are those sounds just super compressed and super added onto it, or
Well,
you
we'll
know,
get into some of that later on too.
yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah,
technical jargon
yeah,
here.
because like if you listen to some of the songs that come out now, it has some of the songs have like 80s feel to it, like a couple weekend
The
songs.
Weeknd, I was gonna say,
total
absolutely.
80s.
What
Some
was
of
that
the stuff? Yeah,
What was this song? The Lights song, whatever that fucking song that he had that was just huge, just a couple years ago. What is it?
I'm not a big fan of the Weeknd anymore,
Yeah,
bro.
what's the name of it?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I know what song you're talking
Yeah.
about, but I can't.
That song to me
Yeah.
feels like just a billion 80 songs compressed
It's
into
all of
it's
them
all of
into-
them. It's all of them just mixed into one. I don't know how he did it, but I'm just like that's just
that's
it's
funny,
the
bro.
80s in
That's
one
funny.
song.
It really, thinking of it now, because I never really thought about it that way. It
Uh-huh.
really is. It really does. That's hilarious, yo. Yes, yes.
But there's some other artists that have been doing some other older sounding stuff too.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Just a lot of the sound today, it's very reminiscent of 80s or 90s or even 2000s. You know, people are sampling stuff, sampling songs.
That's what Machine Gun Kelly did with his 2 albums, right? He just copied and pasted Blink 182 and then made it a little harder.
I mean, yeah, but Machine Gun Kelly can rap though.
Oh yeah,
he got bars.
His
Like,
latest
he
one is
definitely
fucking
a
awesome.
rapper.
His
I
latest
mean,
one, Pressure, is great.
people try to knock Machine. No, he got bars. You know what I'm saying? You could put him up against a lot of cats, and
What's pretty funny?
rap.
You want to know what's funny? When I
Yeah.
was doing some of the homework for this episode, our very first episode that you came on and joined us was episode 11.
Appreciate you for that too. Thank you. Shouts out to you.
And we talked about Machine Gun Kelly on that one too.
Did we really? I gotta go back and listen, bro. Really? Did I say nice things, or was I on a
I
different?
think you might have been hating a little bit at the time. If I recall correctly, but I didn't listen to it myself. So, but I know
I'll be honest then. I mean, there's no disrespect to Machine Gun Kelly. Shouts out to him, but
you might have said he has bars, but you didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Well, because he was doing all that shit back then too. He was doing all this pop punk shit.
I might not have talked to him back then, but I'll tell you what, I've checked his music out at least over the last year, and what I've heard, I fuck with. Definitely a talented, gifted dude. I mean, he can definitely rap. So
Yeah.
that's not even a fucking question.
It's crazy.
And obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's up. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he does. So, yeah, I fuck with him.
That's just fucking hilarious. So, all right. So we're getting into. You're starting to loop some beats and stuff here
Yep.
on your Yamaha.
Yep.
Here. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so where do things go from there?
You know, just getting comfortable, man, with creating music. I had a friend that I grew up with, actually, that I forgot to tell you, that had this particular keyboard. It was actually a Yamaha 750, and he would make beats and stuff. And but he would never let me touch the keyboard, though. He always had to make the beats and shit. So that's another reason why I wanted to get my own, because he would never let me, like. And the beats he was making was pretty dope, you know. It's not, but I was all, you know, I just was like, oh, I could do this. But he never really gave me a chance. But yeah, fast forward, man, I got comfortable with it. Graduated high school, ended up going to culinary school, and I took the keyboard with me. You know what I'm saying? And met a lot of people out there that made music, man. And they were like, wow, you make beats, you got a keyboard, holy shit. Truthfully, one of my roommates, when I was in culinary school, robbed me and stole my fucking keyboard, man. Fuck him for that. I forgot about that. Yeah, he stole it.
And that's the end of the keyboard fucking story.
Yeah.
That's where that chapter ends.
Yeah, well, I did get it back. I did get it back.
Oh.
A mutual friend told me he knew who had it, which ended up being my roommate who set something up. It was just a whole fucked up thing. But and back then that was like $1,000 keyboard, man. I had a carrying case for it. It was nice. And yeah, this dude brought it back to me. I gave him $100 for it, but the lights were all busted and shit on it.
You
know what I
fucking held your fucking keyboard for ransom?
He didn't ask for money. I chose to give it to him. Just whether he was involved in it or not, I just felt like, you know, he brought it back to me, and, you know, it was important to me. I was like, fuck it, I'll throw him off $100.
Got you.
Yeah. But so I started working with other people, man, with that little janky keyboard I had. And then, you know, eventually I saved up some more money and bought my next keyboard. I bought was a Korg Triton. This keyboard was huge. Korg Triton 88 key. and you could do fucking everything on it. And back in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of music producers were using that keyboard, for their productions and stuff. So I always thought that was pretty dope.
And so at this point, are you like actually recording these things as well? You got this all hooked up to a computer now?
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to shop myself, as a producer, as a beat maker. I sang when I was in grade school and in middle school, in chorus and stuff, and I always rapped and stuff, but I always felt like you needed to have those qualities if you wanted to be a producer. That way I could explain, to the artist, how I would want a song to sound, what I'm saying, or something like that. You're kind of like a director of a movie, when you're in the studio and you're working with another artist and you're trying to paint that picture and have them visually see it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. But yeah, man, I got obsessed with working with other people and picking people's brains and learning from artists and perfected my craft, practicing singing and rapping and, just making beats, lock myself in my fucking room, until I had the bread to open up my own, get my own studio, like a little small room in a fucking warehouse somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that's how it started, man. Writing songs, playing my beats and shit and looking in the mirror for hours and practicing, I'm the only one there. You know what I mean? Just doing shit like that. Dope shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I listened to some of the things that you released. I don't know how long ago that was. Yeah.
Crowded Rooms album.
Yeah. And what year was that?
2015 we dropped that. Me and my brother did that. Me and my brother Melton. Shouts out to Melton.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then you had a release party for that here, didn't you?
No. Oh shit. We had no, you're not talking about the release party we had in 2007. That's how long I've been doing this shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a while back, bro. But no. Excuse me, Star 104 actually in Erie, Pennsylvania, helped us promote that, man. They gave me $15,000 worth of like promotion on their radio station. So shouts out to Star 104 for doing that back then. We were the first ones ever to do it. Really, we're the only ones to ever do it. They've never done that for any local artists from Erie, Pennsylvania ever. You can go ask them, call them, ask them, tell them J Tiz sent you to ask, because that's facts. So that was a blessing, that they would do that, and they believed in us. That was in 2007.
Right.
Yeah. I might have to call them now.
Right. Yeah.
No, but I'm plugging them out. But no, seriously. But yeah, that was such a blessing. And that's kind of where it started, man. And 2013, I had a placement in a movie called Ambushed, like a B-level movie, you know what I'm saying? But it was a placement. I got paid money for it.
Okay.
And I still get residual income from it still to this day. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
So that's a blessing. Yeah, so that's my journey. But
and what was the song in Ambush called?
it was called Lil Freakin. No, I'm sorry, that's my new shit. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. It was called a Flex Your Body.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and you can actually go to the movie Ambushed and check it out. I want to say if you go to 1 hour and 1 minute, 1 hour and 50 seconds into the movie, we have like a minute long where our song plays. It's like a strip club scene, and then there's a fight breaks out.
All right.
And it's pretty fucking dope. Actually, the first time I saw it, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, it was pretty fucking dope.
I mean, your song's in a fucking movie too. That's got to be awesome.
It was dope. Yeah, it was. I was so blessed and thankful for that. But that's kind of where it started, man. And to be honest, I got kind of burnt out working with other artists so much because I was so focused on the production side and working with other artists. Because what happened is I came to the conclusion that a lot of these artists ain't as hungry as I am. I'd schedule studio sessions and they wouldn't show up, or I book a session and I'm paying bread out my pocket, you know what I'm saying, and they don't show up.
Yeah.
Or just shit like that. So in 2015, when I came out with my Crowded Rooms album, which I don't think it's available digital, man, and I need to fix that. So I'm gonna get that on there.
All right.
I think there are a few songs on YouTube. Crowded Rooms, you could probably type it in and find a few. But that's when I really decided to kind of just invest in myself, not just as a producer, but as an artist as well. And that's where I'm at now today.
All right. And you're releasing new music now?
I am, yeah.
But you said you haven't released anything since January.
That's correct. Yeah. I mean, I had
today.
I just had, I had some life stuff going on. That's all. You know, it slowed me down.
But that's all going to change today.
It's definitely all going to change today. Yeah, it is going to change today because we're going to play my newest song that I'm going to release on August 11th, 2023, on every single music platform.
That's a week and a half from now. So
yes, it is. That's when it's dropping. But luckily for our listeners today, they're going to be able to listen to it right now. That's
what you get for listening to this show.
I agree.
There's finally some payoff here. So what's the name of this one?
This new one is called Lil Freakin.
Okay.
Yeah, Lil Freakin.
All right. And what inspired this?
It's somewhat of it's an R&B feel, a slower R&B feel.
Mm-hmm.
Has some rapping on it. It's a story about a guy that really, really is feeling this girl, and he takes it upon himself to let her know that they can do some little freaking.
So Lil Dicky has a song that's called "Let Me Freak." Is this similar to that?
No. I mean, really, this song, honestly, excuse me, this song, I worked with an artist who called himself Miraculous. Shouts out to him.
All right.
His real name's Jamie. Him and I actually
lots of James involved
constructed this song so many years ago together, and another artist who's an R&B singer, but I kind of just revamped it, and actually, really, I'm kind of paying homage to Jamie as well, because without his ideas, and for this song, it wouldn't even be a song. That's why, as far as writing share, he gets half of it because because we wrote it together. So, shouts out to Jamie. But yeah, so it's a song about a gentleman that really is feeling this girl, and he feels the need to let her know that they can do a little freaking on the weekend, and that's just how he feels.
All right. Well, without further ado, we should have a listen, right?
Let's get to it. I appreciate you. I hope everybody likes it.
And premiering for the first time anywhere, we're happy to present Lil Freakin by J Tiz.
We gon' do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. Yes, we can, do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin'. Damn, you sexy, baby. Ma'am, you damn fine. And yeah, I'm digging you, baby, just like a landmine. Cause you the sexiest thing living in mankind. So I had to wave at you, shorty, like a sand line. Yeah, mommy, you looking damn good. So let me touch on your body just like a man should. I'ma do everything to you that my hands could, just to open you up, shorty, like a can good. We do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. Yes, we can, do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. Yes, we can. From the top to the bottom, baby, got a body like a model lady. Just relax while we pop on this bottle, baby. No liquor for you, I got some champagne. For we can sip a little bit and do our damn thing. You better watch it, shorty. You gon' pull a hamstring. The way you bouncing it all over my bed spring. She tryna confuse me the way she playing head games. Plus we shaking the whole bed frame. Do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin', freakin', freakin'. Do it on the weekend. Yes, we can, yes, we can. Do a little freakin', do it on the weekend. It don't matter what we do, cause it's gon' be our secret. Do a little freakin', freakin', freakin'. Do it on the weekend. Yes, we can, yes, we can.
Okay. So that's pretty fucking dope.
I appreciate you for that.
How long did this take you? I mean, you said you were working on it for a while. Did you say when you first started this? What was the first draft?
Oh my goodness.
The rough draft.
I started this song with my engineer, Ben Watt. Shouts out to him. He's the greatest musical engineer probably in Pennsylvania. He's worked with Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang. He's worked with Mickey Fats. He does a lot of stuff with another producer who's actually from Erie, but I believe he lives in Sacramento. He calls himself P.A. Dre. He's a phenomenal music producer as well. So shouts out to those guys. But we started working on it, honestly, bro, like 2 years ago. Like the whole idea, like I came to the studio and I was like, I got this song that I used to have, but I remade it. And, you know, I got this beat. Shouts out to the producer of the track. He goes by the name Zane98 on BeatStars. If you guys ever get on BeatStars and you need some production, check out Zane98 because he's a young producer. I believe he's not from the States. He's from overseas. I don't really know particularly what country he's from because I ain't never met him. But I chatted with him online. But phenomenal musician and music producer. And there's a lot of phenomenal talent on BeatStars.com. So shouts out to BeatStars.com as well. I don't work for none of these fucking people I'm plugging, by the way. No McDonald's.
These are all of our small businesses of the week.
Right.
Starting with
just
McDonald's.
small business of the week.
Starting with McDonald's.
Right. Starting with McDonald's. Small business of the week.
Jesus Christ. Safe and Dick would be so proud.
But yeah. We started working on it. I had the idea. I sang the hook on it first, put the vocals down for the verses, and then just kind of, you be in the zone when you're in the studio.
You still using the keyboard to produce these beats?
Well, this particular beat I didn't produce. However, we did add a few things to it.
Right.
We are using a keyboard. What keyboard did I use? I used this would be considered somewhat of an old school keyboard too. I used a Roland Phantom G6. Which is, it's 2023. It probably came out in 2007.
Now, are these USB keyboards or are they MIDI?
Both. This is when, I believe this is USB as well. Yeah, it's not just MIDI. Yeah, it is USB.
So do you primarily use MIDI when you're creating these beats?
Yeah.
Is that what most people use?
You know what I would do is I would import all of my sounds into the keyboard. Like I like that raw, I grew up in the technology of hardware. So we had beat machines, we had Akai MPCs, we had it wasn't software. It wasn't software. Like
MIDI fucks with me, and then this is where I start to get fucked up when it comes to plugins and shit with like all the other instruments and everything, and I'm like, can I just have the sound coming out of the fucking board? Right. Can I have that, please? And that's what you do. It sounds like.
Yeah, well,
because MIDI, you can program it to like all the different keys and stuff like that, or the pads, depending on what kind of board you have.
Correct. Now, this particular song or these particular songs, I didn't record myself. I worked with my engineer Ben.
Because he's a fucking animal. I mean, he's. I'm not just saying this trying to plug him. I mean, he's really, really good at what he does. God definitely gave him a gift to.
So what does he do? Is he MIDI or was he?
I think he's doing everything, bro.
Well, that's yeah.
I don't know
If he's strictly MIDI, honestly, I honestly can't
Well, I
answer
don't
that
think you're going
question.
to be strictly one thing or the
No,
other.
no, no.
But it's something that, as a person that's always been interested in it,
Yeah.
I've wanted to learn more about it. And so for anybody listening that doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about now, MIDI is when you have like a keyboard that's hooked up to a computer, but you can program and reprogram what like all the different keys sound like and everything and all this different stuff, so that when you set it to a certain, like say you want it to be doing drums or strings or something like that, you know, you can program it to however you want. And I don't really fully understand why that's better than what you're doing, you know, or why it's more convenient. I guess because when these programs record MIDI, they're just recording the input and not the sounds. So then you can go ahead and say, take something that you recorded with a string sound and then just change the string aspect of it to a guitar, and then all of a sudden it's the same melody and everything, but now it's just a totally different sound. That's the advantage to MIDI.
There's programs that do crazier shit than that.
Oh yeah. But like, and I just don't know.
First off, you got to back up, I think.
As somebody that's trying to start, where would you start? You know,
if you like, you're just trying to start just recording music. Okay. I would start with a program. There's several programs, but FL Studio.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah, I would start with. There's another program, Studio One.
You ever use Cakewalk?
I haven't personally used it. I know several people that have. I know people seen success with that. I know there's Cubase. There's so many different programs.
But what is the feedback regarding Cakewalk? Because that was the first one I tried out.
My advice would be,
And I didn't
honestly,
like it.
and that might happen. You might not. That's why my advice would be to search on YouTube, like the 10 best recording softwares, and then you can do a little research on it and pick specifically which one fits your preference.
Right.
Rather than me telling you, oh, do
I'm just
this
asking-
one.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking
There's
what
Pro
you like.
Tools too, you know, but
Yeah.
that's, you know, everyone's Pro Tools. I mean, that might not be for everybody. You know?
I just
So,
use Audacity for this podcast, and I like the
I love
simplicity of it.
Yeah.
It's so simple. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
way easier to use than anything else. But I don't know if Audacity translates well for instruments. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good for what we're doing, but
got to research it.
yeah.
I'm not really familiar about it. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you can do all the compression and stuff like that, but I don't know how far it goes with plugins, and I don't think it does MIDI. You know, so that's why I had to do Cakewalk, and it was just a fucking disaster. I hated it. It was like learning a whole new program, and I just hated it.
Some people don't like it. Some people don't like it. Some people do.
Yeah, I was just curious what your experience was.
I've never used Cakewalk. I actually had, funny story. I actually used to record before all these softwares existed. I had I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was made by Roland, a Roland VS 2880 CD DVD digital recorder. It was like a 20 track for, you know, it being like the first digital shit. It was the dopest shit to me. But then,
And what was it saving the tracks on actual CDs? Like, so when you recorded it was like
saving it
live.
actually onto the machine, onto a hard drive, like a computer hard drive.
Okay, all right, no, because my friend Dick, she has a similar, like, she has a podcast set up and it records all on the machine. She uses a micro SD to portably.
Exactly, to export it.
Yeah.
Import, right, yeah. So yeah, this particular one didn't have that.
Right.
It was CD or DVD.
Gotcha.
So you would have to burn it. You know, you could burn it
Yeah.
kind of like a movie, but you wouldn't be able to play it. You would be able to transfer the data to a computer.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? On that DVD. But then you could burn it, you know, on a CD and listen to what you did. And
Yeah.
But then we transitioned over to Cubase. I worked with another engineer, very good engineer as well. His name was Taven, and he used Cubase. That's when I jumped out of engineering and stuff. I just more so was just rapping and singing and writing songs and making my beats on the keyboard or using Studio One just to make my beats. Didn't really mess with vocals. I would import all my sounds, or I would buy sound packs or sound, you know, or I would, you know, take those sounds and kind of layer them and create my own sounds or create my own sound, you know what I mean? Patterns and loops and shit like that. You know what I mean? Just trying to be creative, you know, and just.
For me, I feel like the setup is the hardest part. Like setting all this shit up, because I can pick up a guitar or sit down at a piano and just start playing shit. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to doing this shit digitally, I've got to like program my fucking keyboard, you know, and I'm just like, God.
You got to have an audio interface and you got to have a mixer. You got to have this. Yeah, I get it. I mean, honestly, bro, the way that I learned how to do a lot of the shit that I do, I ain't even gonna lie to you, I call it YouTube University.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, how I learned how to do a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And then working with other people, just asking questions.
You see in this house we're sitting in right now?
Yeah, I love it.
YouTube University, bro.
I love it. I love it, bro. Did a phenomenal job.
Thanks.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
There were so many cracks in the ceiling.
Yeah, phenomenal job. Phenomenal.
It was terrible. The first time, Jesus, Frank is fired up. Yeah. Yeah, the first time I walked into this place, I was just like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? So it's nice to be over that hurdle, and I appreciate everybody listening for being patient while I finish this up. So
you did a great job, and
thank you.
it takes time.
Oh God, just like anything, right? Just
You
like
crossed the finish line.
Just like a beautiful song, right? It takes time.
It does. Yes, it does.
So is there anything else that you wanted to add, I guess, in the realm of music while we're on this topic at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I want everyone to know that I appreciate them for even just giving me their ear and listening. They can check out any of my songs and that are out now or that will be out. You just type in my name, J Tiz, on any platform of your choice, whether you use Apple or YouTube Music or Spotify or whatever is your cup of tea. You type my name in there. Make sure you follow. Make sure you share. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
I'm trying to drop a new song every month because I have so many songs.
Well, there you go. And that way people can be notified when you do drop a new one.
Exactly.
And Lil Freakin will be out on the 11th.
August 11th. Yep. August 11th.
Frank's excited.
At 11:59 Thursday night, right when it strikes 12, you could hear it and stream it right then.
Bang, bang. Well, I'm excited, and thank you again for joining us. I think it's been like, 100 episodes since you've been on?
Yeah, that's 101. That's so crazy. I think that's so crazy. It has been 101.
Yeah, last one you were on was episode 41.
Right, and this is 142.
Jesus.
So it's 101.
That's a long time.
And then what was the one that I was on before that? It was 41, and what about the one before that?
Frank, shut up. 11.
All ones.
Right.
Trippy.
Well, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Catch the Sky podcast. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at CTS Terry, or on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever podcasts are available, Spotify, Apple, all the ones you just said, right? You can search for the Catch the Sky podcast and be sure to like and follow there. Be sure to follow everybody else we mentioned today too. Zane89, is that what it was?
Zane98 on BeatStars.
Zane98.
And me, J Tiz TV on TikTok. I'm way cooler on TikTok. J Tiz on, yeah, Marac.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
All right. Thank you for listening. And until next week, keep trying to catch the sky.